Hi everyone, this is Julianne Victoria of Through the Peacock's Eyes. Welcome to my channel and welcome to the 2021 Year Ahead Vedic Astrology readings. These readings will be based on your Vedic Astrology ascendant or moon sign. You can listen to both to kind of get a fuller picture of the year ahead. If you don't know your Vedic Astrology ascendant or moon sign, you can Google search a free online Vedic Astrology calculator and you should be able to get those there. Make sure it says it is Vedic Astrology or Indian Astrology or Sidereal Astrology so you can get the correct signs. And they'll likely to be a sign different than your Western astrology ones, though there is a little overlap in there as well. Now, during these videos, I may reference a few of the things, the books, the decks I've created that I created to help other people learn Vedic astrology. The first one is my book, Shedding Light on Jyotisha, Vedic Astrology for Beginners, and I have a video or two on my channel where I talk about that a little bit more in depth, but the links are all down below in the description box if you're interested in checking that out. I also have a Vedic Astrology Oracle and the Vedic Astrology Study Deck, which would be a great tool to learn Vedic astrology. I also have a course, Shedding Light on Your Karma and Dharma in Vedic Astrology. It's a mini course. It's about an hour and a half long. Bunch of little videos broken up, and it's only $11. Again, the link is below if you want to check that out to start to learn how to look at your chart and look at your karma and dharma. Like, why are you here? What are you here to do? What are you here to learn? How are you here to grow? I will be hopefully soon in the new year have my next course, which I go through the nakshatras in Vedic astrology. Journey through the nakshatras is probably the title. I haven't officiated that yet. So hopefully that will be out soon or in the early part of 2021. And if you're interested in a reading for the year ahead, Vedic astrology, I also do Western astrology, tarot readings. Those you can purchase on my website. I will be reopening readings November 22nd or so. I've been closed for a while to focus on my book. So you can sign up for my newsletter to be notified or just check back to my website, juliannevictoria.com. Again, links are all below if you want to book a reading with me or schedule a recorded reading for the year ahead for you. Okay, all that being said, let's move on to your horoscope for the year ahead. The charts you will see will be charts laid out based on your ascendant or moon sign. So you, the viewer, can have a clearer understanding of where the transits are as the year begins and how that lays out for you for the year ahead. All right, thank you everyone and enjoy your reading. Hi Scorpio, welcome to your year ahead for 2021 Vedic astrology reading or horoscope. So I have a chart pulled up here for January 1st to see where the planets are as the year begins, and that's sort of the general energy that will play out for you for the year ahead. Of course, how this lays on your natal chart will give you more details. So I pulled it up at a time where Scorpio is the first house, so you kind of see how this might lay on your natal chart if you're familiar with it. And let's start with the nodes because we have them on your personal axis. So the house numbers are here on the perimeter for those who aren't familiar. The planets or the signs of the zodiac are within the houses, and the ones in color are for the planets. So Scorpio, we have the nodes, K2 here in your first house and Rahu here in your seventh house. So it's on this axis of the self and the other for you. So that can bring a shift in relationships or relationship understanding and your understanding of yourself in relationships. Now, Rahu and Ketu, and they will be in these placements for the entire year. They moved here in September 2020. Are said by many sources to be exalted in these positions. I've also read sources that say they're debilitated in this position. So for those who are like thinking about that, I tend to not look at that with the nodes, only because there's, other people feel they're exalted or debilitated in Sagittarius and Gemini. So there's discrepancy there. I tend to see the nodes as very strong wherever they are placed. So you have K2 here conjoined Venus as the year begins in your first house, whether you're ascendant or moon in Scorpio. And K2 in the natal chart represents past lives, past karma, as well as spiritual wisdom. in these year ahead readings, what I'm feeling with K2 here is the past, as in 2020, because that has been such a significant, pivotal, life-changing year for, most people around the world. And I feel this K2 energy is what we're coming out of, but also what have we learned, what wisdom have we gained, or might we learn and understand as we move into 2021 and further into the year. So the question is, like, you have to question this because you may not know it, right on January 1st. Some might know it a little before, some might after. It depends on the degree of your ascendant and so on. Like, what did you get out of the past year? What I'm feeling here, like I just saw like peeling an orange. What peeled away from your sense of self? Because this is in your first house, the house of the self. What peeled away from your sense of self? Or what skin, like a snake, what layer did you shed that has opened up transformation for you? Scorpio, you're the sign of transformation. What losses, and hopefully they weren't grave losses, but what losses, whatever in your life you shed or were forced to shed this past year has opened up new awareness for you, new depth of understanding. And you're the esoteric sign, Scorpio. So there is it's this past year of 2020, and it's not done but at this recording, so you may have to listen back sometime later in 2021. But what esoteric or mystical revelations and changes have and are occurring for you because of 2020? And because Venus is conjoined here, I feel literally there's a beautiful transformation happening for you. It's bringing out, you could say, your inner beauty. It's bringing out your creativity. For those who are very creative Scorpios, it's bringing out your artistic creativity. It's also bringing out your voice. Venus rules the beautiful voice, or being able to communicate and speak things and share things in a pleasing way. So something beautiful is birthing out of you, Scorpio, because of this past year. And it's changing, it's transforming, it's growing your sense of self. Now we have Rahu here, again, in your 7th house of relationships, or the house of the other, in Taurus. I feel whatever this transformation is for you, of course, it's going to be a little different for every Scorpio out there. Whatever this transformation is for you, it's changing the type and the motivation, the incentive behind the relationships, the close relationships you choose to have. And the close relations you have that are solid, and the ones you choose to have or develop in this year of 2021 are going to be supportive. I want to say supportive of what you want to create. And I'm saying that because we have Venus here in your 1st house, and she rules Taurus. And she's creative energy. Taurus is a very creative sign. So it's almost like, because of whatever transformation is occurring with you, whatever, I want to say, beauty is being revealed by the shedding of your skin, whatever that skin is for you, it's attracting in those who will be more supportive of you. Doesn't mean everyone in your life is going away, right? There's already hopefully supportive people of you, but it's shifting the relationships, and it's like they bolster you up in some way. And that helps you to do more of whatever it is you want to do, but more importantly, because this is focused on your 1st house, to be more the Scorpio that you want to be. Okay. um, yeah. Okay. So let's move on to Saturn and Jupiter here. So Saturn and Jupiter, as you can see, are conjoined. Saturn is restrictive and Jupiter is expansive. And I did make a video talking about their little dance together, conjoined, in and out of conjunction, both Western and Vedic astrology. I'll pin that video to the top of the comments below so you can check it out. But in there I say, if you work with both their energies, you can create great things. Like alchemy happens. If you resist the Saturn patience and discipline and hard work and the need for solid structures, and you want to expand out of it too quickly, Jupiter's bad side is excess, things are just not going to be built. Things are going to fall apart. So you want to work with their energies together. Now, Saturn, as I've been saying for a while, Saturn has the upper hand in this Saturn-Jupiter combination in Capricorn. Saturn rules Capricorn. He's very happy here. He's at home here. He's as solid as can be here. So it's really important to work with the Saturn energies, which means don't rush things. Work hard. Do things that will last long term. And I'll get to the house part of this in a sec. When obstacles and challenges pop up, don't try to bulldoze them over. Realize that it's the Saturn energy saying, hey, wait, there's something else you need to do, or you need to go in this direction first, or this is not the right time. You gotta wait. There's stuff that's got to happen first, and you got to work with that. Jupiter here. Jupiter is debilitated in Capricorn. And that's why, besides Saturn ruling Capricorn, why Saturn has the upper hand. Jupiter needs to work with Saturn's energy. In whatever ways you want to grow and expand, you can't try to expand past any boundaries Saturn sets until Saturn opens the gate. Now, this is in your third house of writing, communication, technology, Zoom meetings, Skype sessions. It's also the house of neighbors, neighborhood, community, short distance travel. It's also the house of self-motivation, which I don't bring up much, but I want to bring that up here for you, Scorpio. If you work with Saturn's energy and you're patient and you're hardworking and disciplined, that only supports your self-motivation and whatever it is you want to do, especially when it comes to writing and communicating, connecting with people, building a community in some way. I am getting strong writing energy here. Could even be working with technology. If there's technological blips, be patient, work with it. That will only enhance your motivation to be disciplined. It all works together. And as you do that, then things can expand. Then things can play out, with that lucky Jupiter energy. As long as you work, as long as you're patient, as long as you're patient. Yeah. It's interesting feeling here, because I want to say there's a creative element, although with this, I wouldn't say creativity, but I think that's coming in because you have Venus on your ascendant here, which is the creative element. It's going to come out in how you communicate, whether it's talking, speaking, making YouTube videos, writing a book. It's going to come out. It's going to be lovely, but you got to be patient, and then it will expand very nicely. Okay. Now, Saturn and Jupiter are opposite the moon here. So they're all looking at each other. They have their drishtis there, of course. So we have the moon here in her own sign of Cancer in the 9th house. So 9th house is publication. So for those who want to publish videos or talks or speeches or writing or blogs, if this is something you're working hard at, that you want to expand and grow, this is great. Your heart's going to be in it. You can also see this possibly as other people are going to be affected emotionally by it. Hopefully that's positive, can go both ways, but there'll be an emotional response with whatever you put out into the world, published, self-published, get published. Ninth house is also the house of spirituality, religion, philosophy. And I just heard in my mind's ear, I never know what to call that, being moved by religion in some way. So whether or not you're religious, something religious, the spiritual element of it, will move you emotionally. And that's just going to be something very significant that I feel will be part of the transformation process you're going through, Scorpio. It's like a beautiful transformation. It has to be. Venus is here. Doesn't mean it's always easy and there isn't difficult moments, but I do see like this beautiful transformation happening. And there's something very spiritually moving, but I feel like it's through something religious, at least probably for a lot of you Scorpios, maybe not everyone out there, of course, because it's a general reading, but it just moves you so emotionally that it's like this significant thing that will be significant for your entire life. Ninth house is also house of higher education, college, university, continuing ed, but also spiritual education. So wherever your emotions and heart lead you, you might study something, but you have to feel it. It can't just be like an intellectual thought. You have to feel it. If you don't feel it, you're not going to do it, basically. Okay. Let's move over here to Mars. So as the year begins, Mars is also in his own sign of Aries, in your sixth house of work, health, daily routine. I often call it the chore house, the stuff we do every day. It can play out in work as in your career, but not necessarily. Drive, energy, action. Mars is so strong here. So I feel like this is playing out in health, because Scorpio, Mars is your ruler as well. So Mars rules Aries and Scorpio in Vedic astrology. Scorpio, exercise. You need to get moving this year if you have not been exercising, which, if you've been on lockdown, that may have been difficult. But this is very strong energy here, and this is your ruler. You got to move. Go for a walk on a treadmill, do jumping jacks at home if you're on lockdown. This is like exercise, not obsessively, not excessively, but I feel like this is the best thing you can do for your health this year, is to get moving, to sweat, to be active. It may be something new because it is Aries energy, but this is your sixth house anyway. That's really important. I feel like that's also going to be grounding. I know that sounds funny, but that's also going to be grounding for you, depending on what all this transformation is about for you. But it's like, because you have Saturn and Jupiter here as the year begins in Capricorn, I do feel like a lot of Scorpios might be like on the computer a lot, or a lot still. Writing, recording talks, talking to people, that getting outside and exercising is going to be really beneficial. And I feel like you need to keep your blood pumping strong. Okay. And then up here, lastly, we have the Sun and Mercury here in your second house of money, gains, finances, what has value for you, or what you value in life, self-worth as well, in the sign of Sagittarius. In these readings for the year ahead, I'm feeling the Sun is representing like where we shine brightest, or where we feel a lot of joy and happiness. In the natal chart, it represents your soul. But because these are general readings, this is not your soul placement in your natal chart. But with the Sun here in the second house, like, this could be a really good financial year for a lot of Scorpios. Like, because I'm feeling this is happiness, a happiness with your stuff, with your possessions, with your gains, with your finances. So there could be, good money coming in this year, or it's stable, which could be, really good if it's been unstable in the past. But really happy about finances and financial gain. And, maybe possessions coming in. Maybe it's like you buy something, you buy new furniture and you're really happy about it. So it could be that would come in that way as well. We also have Mercury here. Mercury is often close to the sun because he's close to the sun in the heavens, in the sky. That's the intellectual element. So I feel like you're going to be, this is like a lot of money coming in, and it can be, so second house of money, gains, and finances isn't necessarily your career income, but there can be an overlap. And for you, Scorpio, the sun rules Leo, which is your 10th house in this chart. So it could be through your career, through your work as well. But I feel like it's coming in from multiple ways. So it's going to be either multiple ways for a lot of Scorpios out there, or for one person, it's their career, and another, it's a gift. Second house is also inheritance. So it could come in that way, or a gift from family in some way, or a surprise. But you're going to be happy about money and finances and your possessions. And the Mercury element is like, you're going to be smart about it. You're not going to blow it all and, waste it. So let's say, someone gifted you $1,000. You're not just going to go on a shopping spree. You're going to be smart about it. You're going to be like, you know what? I need to put this much away, but now I have money to buy this new possession that I'm going to love, that's going to make me really happy. Okay. And lastly, one thing I didn't mention yet about Jupiter. So Jupiter is here in Capricorn until mid-April, when he moves into Aquarius, until mid-September, or no, till early September, when he moves back into Capricorn, until the end of November. So he's doing this back and forth. When Jupiter is in Aquarius, and Aquarius is ruled by Saturn in Vedic astrology, but it's much freer, it's much more open. Saturn's, Jupiter's not debilitated in Aquarius, so Jupiter's expansive energy is more flexible. It's much freer. So mid-April to September, and then in December of 2021, Jupiter in the 4th house brings expansion to 4th house's home and family and property and possessions. And I want to bring that up because of this happy sun in the house of possessions. So it could be you buy a new home, or you buy a new car. 4th house possessions are like big things like property and vehicles. So that could play out that way as well. But that does, Jupiter's transit here for those portions of 2021 do bring expansion to your home and family in some way. Though I feel his energy here will be stronger in 2022, when he's not busy retrograding back into Capricorn and then just dipping his toes back this year. All right, Scorpio, that is sort of the gist, the energies of 2021 as the year begins. Thank you for watching. Share this with any Scorpios out there that you know, and I will see you back here soon.